How long have you been rapping for at this point?
So I have been rapping since 7th grade. I always played around with it as far as like talent shows, if I learned someone else's rap and did it, but I didn't start taking it serious to the point where like I actually realized I could write everything and that I actually had a talent in it until like 7th grade. That was when I actually, made it official. I was gonna start rapping. I kind of basically transformed my whole Instagram page into just rap videos, to just any new song that I liked that came out, and I was just writing constantly, putting videos up. People at my middle school started to realize, even some teachers at my middle school were like, you actually, have talent in this. So in my 8th grade year, I wrote a poem, and then I took it to one of my teachers, and they had like a statewide contest going on, and she was like, put a beat behind this poem and re-record it, and I could submit it for you as a rap song. And I actually ended up winning. I think I got 2nd in the state, so it's pretty lit.
And at this point of the interview, you were a senior in high school, 12th grade.
Yes.
Is it easy to be a rapper?
No, not at all. First of all, it's not easy to be a rapper, but a female rapper at that, I feel like we have to prove ourselves to people immediately, especially if you are feminine or you're girly, and the way I rap, you may not be able to tell on the outside. So it's like as soon as you walk in a room and you tell someone you're a rapper, they're like, spit something. Or they're like, I don't believe you. Like, ain't no way this pretty, petite little girl is rapping like this. So sometimes I find it funny because I'm like, wait until they hear what I'm about to show them. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, in my head, I'm like, I'm boosting myself up. But then at the same time, it's definitely not easy. Sometimes it can get annoying, and it's just a whole lot of extra.
What are the chances, because you've been on national TV, Lifetime, The Rap Game, that sort of thing. What are the chances of someone being successful enough to be on a television show like that?
What are the chances?
Yeah, what are the chances?
I feel like it's probably easier to win the lottery than to get on the show. And, it sounds like a joke, but he only chooses 5 kids out of the country. So it's like, sometimes it still kind of psychs me out when I think about the fact that I was one of those kids out of all the people that send in submissions. If you look on his page, it's like kids constantly, I want to get on this season, or I want to do it, or, put me on the next season, check out my page. And it's just crazy to see, like it's really a dream for kids out here. So I always, I'm just so thankful for that, because I watched the show from season 1, and I always said to myself, you can do that. So it's still crazy to me, the fact that I was actually one of the kids.
In all these years of rapping, even from 7th grade to 12th grade, have you ever felt like quitting?
I feel like I'm not really a quitter, but I am straightforward with, okay, if I want to do this, I'm going to put my all into it. And if I don't, I'm not doing it anymore. And then it's not really a quitting situation. It's like, okay, if it's a sport, I'm going to finish out this season, but I'm going to give it a rest. But when it comes to this, I've definitely had my days where I felt down, or I was just mad because I felt like I wasn't being productive enough, or, I'm like, you can go harder. So I don't think I've ever thought about quitting, but I've definitely had some times where I was like, okay, I need to take a break and like really evaluate myself and how I'm going about this. And, are you really trying as hard as you can? Are you writing to the best of your ability? Are you giving it your all? And just questions like that.
The Rap Game is a competition reality television show, and you didn't win the season you were on.
Right.
What happens when the cameras are off and you have to deal with that?
So what happens when they're off in the house, or
what happens when you're not on TV, you're watching it, you see how everything plays out, and then you have to deal with maybe comments from people or what other people think about you because you didn't win, that sort of thing. What happens when the cameras are off and you're not on the Lifetime show?
So I've definitely dealt with some comments, some negative comments as far as like, oh, you lost, or this, that, and the third. But honestly, I've dealt with far more positive comments and I have negative because to this day, I get DMs from people saying, you should have won, you know, it should have went differently, you were robbed. My whole page is filled with comments of, you should have won. Or even going back to specific weeks, they're like, this challenge should have been yours, like you should have got #1. So I just take everything as a lesson. Even though I didn't win, I was runner-up of the season, and I was just, first of all, I was grateful for the whole experience. It opened a lot of doors. The amount of publicity we get is, you know, amazing. I started out the show with, I think, like 1,000 followers, and now I'm at like 183K. It's still crazy to me because at one point, you know, my goal was just to get to 10K, or my goal was just to get to 7,000. So, you know, now I'm making goals to get to 200K and so on, but it's just, it's crazy to me. But, you know, the negative comments are always gonna come, and those people were not in my shoes. A lot of them couldn't have done what we did. And I'm speaking for myself and all the kids. It's not an easy situation. You're having cameras close up on your face, you're crying, they're zooming in. You're trying to get school done, write and memorize raps. It's a lot. So I commend all the kids. Congrats to Street Bud. It was a fun time filming the show, and yeah, on to the next and better.
Were you discouraged after that in terms of your career?
I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely upset when I didn't win. I did cry on that episode, and it was more because there was a lot of behind the scenes that just I went through and my mom went through, and just, it was a hard time while being there and filming the show. So when he didn't call my name to get the chain, it just kind of hit me for a second, and just everything was just going through my mind. Is like, why? Like, you know, I couldn't see anything else, but it should have been me, and there's no reason like for this to happen. So I was definitely angry. I was discouraged, but I was like, you know, nothing happens by mistake, and I'm gonna just keep working towards every other dream and goal I got.
Didn't think about quitting after that, did you?
No, definitely not. That actually added more fuel to the fire because, you know, it was kind of like the only thing on my mind besides, okay, why did I not win, was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. So as soon as that happened and I was done crying, that was basically my mood, like, you made a big mistake and I'm gonna let you know why.